Всем привет, это как всегда Игорь, мы продолжаем прохождение, приятного просмотра. Продолжаем, я 5 дней не играл, вообще не было времени, даже не времени. Ну, времени, конечно, но в основном сил не было. Поэтому я вообще не играл 5 дней. Это расстраивает. Хотелось. Ладно, продолжаем прохождение. Проходим, нам какая-то миссия, я не помню, что за миссия. Сейчас вспомним.
So the ship top.
Починить. Почти 30 тысяч. Легко продавать все. Много набрал.
Be careful with your new friends in Amber Heights. They're not the most reliable types. Anyway, what can I do for you? You weren't supposed to look. I asked you to delete it. I didn't mean for any harm to come to you. This has been my albatross, the great shame of my career. I give MSI everything. My work, my youth, my left kidney, and for years, I was a joke to them. One of the executives required a transplant. I thought volunteering to donate might improve my prospects. Apparently not. In charge of a scrap heap of a city, abandoned by the board and surviving only through the hypocrisy of our trading partners. I hadn't thought of it that way. But perhaps there's something to that. Thank you for that. Was there something else? Oh, yes. I'm going to be up all night with this. All those blanks waiting to be filled, boxes waiting to be ticked.
Try to control yourself, sir.
Have you any idea how powerful this is? Corporations have been toppled with less. What a question! Bureaucratic micromanagement is the only way anything gets done in Halcyon, and proper documentation is a key part of that. For our part, a bill of liquidation/transfer Form 52 will protect our holdings on Monarch by temporarily assigning them to a pass-through entity once we drop our bomb on the board. Sort of. Really, we're just going to blackmail them into offering us a seat at the table.
But really, whatever gets you excited about the idea, it's definitely a firm middle finger.
Help us with this final matter, and we won't need to broadcast anymore. You have my word. I have reason to believe that one of the other corporations is operating on Monarch, illegally and in secret.
Is it really illegal if the board's the one that makes the rules in the first place?
If we can find proof, I can use that as leverage to encourage certain powers that be to accept our Bolt 52 and reinstate us on the board. If someone is operating here, then Catherine's almost certainly supplying them out of Fallbrook. Perhaps she could be convinced to tell you where they are. Already? If only the rest of the colony operated as efficiently as you. Imagine what a different state we'd be in, hmm? I'll complete the Bolt 52 in no time. I dare say it'll be my second greatest achievement after the reformations.
You're getting ahead of yourself again.
So I am. Do you have this cartridge? I'm working on a plan to reorganize the board. Slowly, peacefully, and with meticulous documentation.
What's gonna happen to the people here when the board figures out what you're doing?
Well, by that point, my hope is that we'll be on the board once more.
I'm just... Maybe I'm worrying too much, but it seems the folks here get plans made for them an awful lot. When do they get to start making plans for themselves?
Once MSI is restored, the people of Monarch will be able to make more choices. We'll have all the brands and resources of the board here. But truly, I am getting ahead of myself. First, I need to submit the Bolt 52. With that data you're holding, of course. I knew there was something going on. This is exactly the proof we need. The board will have to welcome us back now. I'll transmit this data along with the completed Bolt 52 right away. After that, we'll sit back and quietly wait for the board to respond.
That means no more broadcasts from us.
Третий уровень. Ну, так вот все выполнять. Мы уже все понаходили и сразу отдали. Убеждение. 65-й. Взлом. У меня в минус уходит. Наука, инженерия.
So Ada isn't really alive, but she can still talk like a person. What about Sam? What's it? Sorry. Is he the same thing?
Sam's an automechanical thing, not a computer brain thing like Ada.
Где-то
I
магазин
don't
был.
think Sam understands gender, so you can call him it if you want.
Right, but she's a machine, he's a machine. How are they different?
You know how I said Ada was special? Her wiring's a whole lot more complex.
Продать. Оружие. Что набрал. У меня есть еще пулемет. Вот. Офигеть, как всего много. Нафиг, короче, не оставляю много себе, смысла в этом нет. Хотя у меня места полно. 36 тысяч. Отстаньте, я не успеваю все читать и смотреть. О, вообще без костюма. У нее тоже мощный. Давайте тогда поставим вот это. Тридцать третий, 39-й. Ого, у нее пулеметчик. Как его мне себе забрать? Ладно. А может все-таки попробовать? Я не могу его все забрать. Могу. У нас обычным бегает. Хорошее у него оружие. Снаряжение хочу попробовать. Тогда вот это мы оставляем. Это так себе, мне не очень понравилось. Но это мы все оставляем. Тем более научное оружие мы точно все оставляем. Надо его поставить в ряд. Я выставляю так, чтобы вот эти, которые обычные, они же не выделяются, чтобы случайно не продать. Мой пулемет второго уровня. Ну, это плазменный ручной пулемет.
So he's
Там мне
following his
тут идти.
own rules, making everything
Топ-топ-топ,
obnoxiously clean
топ-топ-топ.
because he has to. Maybe I ought to let up on him a bit.
Попробуем. Нам куда? На корабль, наверное, назад. Я даже задание прочитал, куда нам. Дневник. Это основное. Это я не выполнил. Найдите нарядную одежду. Это Византия. У меня нет пока Византии. Найдите и убейте ее участок. Там ее участок находится в Византии. Тоже Византия. Сюда идем. Пам-пам-пам-пам-пам-пам-пам. Клавиатуру задел. Такое у меня частенько. Сын, когда долго не поиграешь, а что тут всего так валяется много. Я же это уже все смотрел, почему-то это все равно валяется. Неудивительно, я пропускаю. Как туда забраться? Ну, еще что-то пропустил. Оно похоже по новой резать. Не мог я такое на видном месте прям пропустить. Хотя, наверное, мог. Ничего, тут слишком много валяет. Если только сюда вообще не заходил, вот закуток. Опять гору можно продать. Гору продам, можно уже оружие будет улучшить какое-нибудь. Я и так довольно хорошо справляюсь. Нет, они походу резнулись эти все утецкие. Опа.
Do you hear that? It's the blessed sound of radio silence, which leads me to believe you have sweet, sweet news for me. Yes, indeed. I am back in business. But before we get down to it, might I ask how you handled the problem? In the end?
We did what we could, as best we could. Should probably leave it at that.
Is that so? I suppose not. Curiosity was always my besetting sin. And we both know I'll find out, eventually. I don't doubt that you are working with Phineas, but my contract specifies I relay any acquired information to the purchaser, and to the purchaser alone. However, to send the data, I will need your assistance in cycling the antenna's receiver, so I can input the needed adjustments. You make it sound so scandalous. Phineas has been in hiding for the past 35 years. He got in touch with Nyoka first, who I use as a physical go-between. The rest is history.
Now you hold on. I do not physically go between anyone but that of my choose. Oh, apologies. You meant, right. Yes, I braved the wilderness, so you don't have to.
Precisely. I really ought to give you a raise. Don't be ridiculous. We're resetting a broadcast tower, not filing taxes. There are no errands, spreadsheets, or rituals involved. It's simple, truly. I merely need you to waltz outside and throw the lever to cycle the power. I'll key in the numerical adjustments from in here. Eternal, no. What is wrong with you? Who would ever design something like that? However, you're welcome to brew me a Rizzo Insta-Coffee from the staff kitchen on your way back. Just step outside, flip the switch, depart forever. Understood? Good. Marvelous. We're in agreement.
This is why I stopped helping out around here, you know. It's always throw this lever, shoot that marauder, save my life. Just one thing after another with you.
If that's really all, let's just get it done with and be on our way.
Прикольно, они посмеялись над играми, где разработчики делают то, что какое-то задание приходишь выполнять, и надо кучу мелочи выполнить, и такой мелочью растягивают геймплей, и это частенько надоедает.
Terrific. I'll be here, waiting with bated breath. Give a shout if the panel electrocutes you.
Can we talk?
Если бы все бы делали по уму, а не растягивали глупыми действиями геймплей, бы игры были бы интереснее. Вот на том же примере Мафия 3. Зачем вот они растянули захватом территории игру? Классная игра, интересная, сюжет интересный, красивая. Но они на какой-то фиг растянули ее кучей захвата территории, ослабления, а потом захват. Что нельзя было сделать как первую, вторую часть? Просто чисто сюжет. В чем проблема? Можно просто доп. Задания оставить. Кто хочет, выполняет, но они не обязательны, чтобы были. Кто не хочет, не выполняет. Это было бы гораздо лучше. Ну, кому-то при разработке иногда кажется, то, что куча однотипных действий кому-то будут интересны. Конечно, они в Мафии 3 логично выглядят. Но все равно от этого они интереснее не становятся.
Testing 1, 2, check, check. Sweet stars. But that is a beautiful sound. Can you hear me? We are a go for broadcast. Oh, and I also dispatched Phineas his data. Impatient prick. Worse, I'm now indebted to him for it. Now I'll kindly thank you to get out of my tower. There's no need to assert your dominance. I doubt I could make you do anything you don't wish to. Look, I am well aware that at times I may have the tiniest iota of a prickly exterior, but I must admit I have grown rather fond of you. As Nyoka can attest, I do not form attachments with many. Do take care.
Why, he told us to leave without flinging insults at our persons. He really does like you, Captain. What in the void-blasted hell is that?
Корабль падает. Что это?
Black holes! Did you see that? Looks like a UDL ship. Based on the gunnery attachments, I'd guess it's one of the board's blockade enforcers, but don't cite me on that. Oh well, a pity for the crew, but I can't see how it affects me. Hiram? Can you hear me? Did you see that? Architect saved me from swindlers and fools. Sanjar, what are you bloody doing on my channel? Did MSI or did MSI not cease broadcasting? Yes, but... Hiram! Hiram, are you there? Ah, the good captain. The truth brings us together once more. Our salvation has come crashing through the stratosphere. We need only collect its weapons. Are you mad? That's a UDL gunship. You'd probably shoot your own toes off. Ah, I see you learned nothing while dealing with these buffoons. We could use the gunship's armaments to defend Stellar Bay, but we need its targeting module. Our message is so close to breaking free of this planet and spreading to the stars. Help us secure that module and we will save our colony. Listen, I don't care a single whit what you do so long as you leave me out of it. Which means, get off my void damn channel. I'm more than finished with you lot.
Надо спасти, надо достать оружие. А где я? Как мне сюда вообще? Модуль наведения, не оружие, модуль наведения. Вон лестница есть. Топ. Я не знаю, что я дальше буду проходить. Наверное, рано еще думать. Ну, я всегда заранее думаю, что мне дальше проходить. Мне одно хочется устанавливать, потом мне что-то другое хочется еще устанавливать. В том момент, как надо проходить, я уже не знаю. Посмотрим, я много чего хочу пройти. Я хочу разнообразно проходить. Допустим, вот сейчас как про космос прохожу, а потом что-нибудь подревнее. Я вообще хочу... Не помню, как игра называется. Я куда-то бегу, это вообще не туда. Я там пройти могу. Я, наверное, переместиться куда-нибудь могу, ну, поближе. Потом что-нибудь про древность или про наши времена, потом опять что-нибудь про космос, про будущее. Ну такое, чтобы разнообразнее было.
Used to be, I had to correct for a bit of leftward drag. Got used to standing just so. After a while, it put a thorn in my side, something awful. Lately, though, it ain't pulling. I find my stance much improved.
Блин, за подвисание. Бесит. Точно по новой рисует. Я здесь бывал тоже. Блин, короче, не хочу по новой все лутать. Ну, проверим пушку. Пулемет. Это как-то не очень эффективно. Окей. И там еще... Мне нравится, что им помощнее. Нет, я его и отдам обратно. Нет, сначала надо у себя вытащить. Пулемет. Мне же был... я отдал пулемет. Я возьму пулемет. Попробую, как с ним будет бегать. А я назад это... Другой пулемет отдам. Ты оставил, нет? Нет. Это есть. Это всегда слева ищет. Не знаю, не вижу, короче, побежал. Слишком много я лутаю. Чё, пчая? Я помогу. Босс был жопа. Кучка летает. Они сами справились. Где цель? Он увидел. Вроде когда все по новой ресается, вообще задолбаешься лутаться. Не все, конечно, частично. Here we go. За одного 3600. 675. Идем дальше. Слишком много тут противников. Кто-то есть. Кто-то есть. Here we go. Вижу гвоздь. И также на высокой сложности играем. Опять что-то есть. Слушай, такой датчик чего-то, что есть, ну, он просто пищит, и он у меня всегда в левом ухе пищит. Я не понимаю, куда он пищит. Блин, задолбали повсюду эти жуки. Погодитесь сами. Пошел. Уже надоело просто. На каждом шагу как 20 метров пробегаешь, противник. 20 метров пробегаешь, противник. В бою нельзя, сами они справятся там. Правильно. Нет, не то. Тройку надо, я четвертую нажал.
My name's Jen. I'm the chief engineer on this gunship, and I'd like to let the record show that our captain is a total fucking hullhead. I told him again and again that without fixing our regulators, spinning up the engines are going to blow through our coils and we'll go flying off in a completely random direction. Well, here we are. Thinking we'll hit soil in about 30 seconds. This is your chief engineer signing off for what is probably the last time. It's a shame you can't see this middle finger I'm holding up, because I'm doing it as hard as I can.
Где главный раздолбай? Кривой корабль. Ну, анжар. Да? Еще одна миссия готова. Надо было внутри появляться. Ладно, уже не появился. Вечно к этим воротам прилетаю. Меня с толку сбивает то, что цель горит. На эту точку я к ней.
If the iconoclasts reach that ship first, there won't be any chance for a peaceful monarch. I don't suppose you've found the targeting module yet. I've sent patrols, but they're running into trouble with the iconoclasts. They're all mad! And what's more, they left us! I don't see any way for us to work together. Not this again.
Remember what we practiced, sir.
Yes. The words in those reviews were very hurtful, but they do not define me. I am a mantipillar, and my will is my cocoon. I can emerge and become whatever I wish. You too?
He has a point, sir. And it's not all bad.
Supposing you're right, who exactly would you have me work with? The iconoclasts are not the most compromising sorts. Oh, how do these things ever start? Once upon a time, Graham and I saw the same problems with MSI. A rigid corporate structure with no regard for its people. But where I wanted to reform MSI, he only wanted to take it apart, as if starving in the wilderness is somehow better than starving under corporate mismanagement. He won't hear reason now, and I wouldn't trust him again. That's an interesting suggestion. I confess I don't know much about her except that she worked for Rizzo.
There ain't a body on this planet that can keep a group patched up like she has. I don't know how she does it.
I'd be willing to consider it, but I need to see her review first. Very well. I can't promise anything, but let's see what we have here. Well, it seems like she's actually very qualified.
If it weren't for her, I'd wager the iconoclast would have died off a while ago.
I wasn't expecting to say this, but if you can put her in charge and convince her to agree to a meeting, I'd be willing to discuss terms.
Какое прекратить?
Any luck bringing the iconoclast to the bargaining table? I don't like the idea that they'll be trying for that module while we delay. Well, because the module controls the weapons systems. Because once we mount them on Stellar Bay's walls, no Marauder or Raptidon will ever be a threat to us again. Stellar Bay will be as secure as any other settlement in Halcyon.
The point is, this weapon system would be a powerful advantage, and we can't risk the iconoclast getting it.
Can you imagine what those maniacs would do with weapons like that? They'd wreak havoc.
And roll back all the progress we've made at reconciling with the rest of Halcyon.
Oh, I've known their ilk long enough. Even if they merely sat on the scraps, the threat of a bunch of anarchists holding a gunship would bring the full wrath of the board down on Monarch. We can't afford that.
I'm skeptical they'd care enough to wipe us out, but if they did, we wouldn't stand a chance.
Oh, you see our quandary then. The board's own salvage and recovery clause 32B would say differently.
And they won't dare challenge us over this. Not after the data you found on their experiments here. Don't worry. We'll send an engineering team for those later. We'll have to disconnect them from the rest of the ship.
Of course, they'll be useless without that targeting module, which is why it's critical that you retrieve it.
Which is also why we can't let the iconoclasts get them.
Look, Celia, he's being funny again.
I don't think so, sir.
Really? Well, I could have sworn... Well, that's not important. What is important is that there's a considerable distance between us and that ship, and most of it is inhabited by Marauders and Raptidons. Oh, it is, and that's not saying anything about the Sulfur Pits, the Mantisaurs, the Iconoclast Rebels... Celia, do we have any pep pills? I'm feeling lightheaded.
I'm afraid you finished them going over the sales reports last week.
Oh, well, I suppose you see our predicament. Good, because we haven't a moment to lose. That's surprising. The board's equipment is usually in top shape. After all, they have first access to any fresh parts or components. You think so? I always thought scarcities on Monarch were due to our pariah status. Ooh, that's very good. I wish I could help, but I've never been very good at making presentations. Ooh, I could work on a brief, if you think it would help your case. Excellent! I'll get to it straight away. It'll be a few weeks before it's ready, but one can't put a price on quality work. I don't suppose you've found the targeting module yet. I've sent patrols, but they're running into trouble with the iconoclasts.
Нет, сначала надо с наборцами. пообщаться, а потом буду отдавать, не отдавать, решать. Но отдать-то я в любом случае отдам его. Ну, мне не по порядку, я выбрал. Я же по порядку вставлял. Винтомет 2. Я продаю-то, да, продаю. У меня такой же автомат еще был, нет? Он есть. Это мы оставим. Да место полно, какая разница. О, это кругляшком. Продавать. По 2 оставляю. Эх, хрен знает, буду их использовать. Нет, просто у меня очень много. Только денег. В принципе, какое, все равно немного. Я сейчас захочу оружие улучшить, они там сразу улетят. Улучшение оружия очень дорого. Ой, не туда.
Did you have a sweetheart in Stellar Bay? I had a flair or two, sure. But on Monarch, relationships ain't usually meant to last.
Офигеть, почти 40 минут играю. 5 дней не играл. Как я люблю играть. Ну другое задание. Мне к Заре надо. Не Зара, Зора. Зора, Грэм. Пойду с Грэмом сначала поговорю, где лезть.
Captain, we should chat. Graham's got the right idea, but he isn't the right guy to execute it. I don't even think he's motivated by philosophism anymore. I think he's just guilt-ridden. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but I keep going over and over it in my head, and the only way I see the iconoclast surviving is we depose him. Okay. Deep breaths. This is what's best, Sora. Time to save Monarch.
Я за этим сюда пришел.
You must be back with the access codes to our new ship.
Graham, we need to talk.
We have work to do. This isn't the time for one of our spats. Stand down. I'm afraid I don't understand, Captain.
You're running the iconoclast into the ground, and I don't believe it'll get better after we take Stellar Bay. The troops take orders from me already, and you've brought me as far as you can down the eternal path. It's time to step down.
The troops. Listen to you. This isn't an army. They aren't soldiers. They're believers. Followers. They pick up a gun because you tell them to, not because they want to. And you, Captain, after all you've done for me, for us, you throw behind this mutinous blasphemer? I built this movement from the ground up. I've brought freedom to Monarch, and all these years later, we're still free.
I joined because I believed that you were in it for the iconoclasts. That you wanted nothing more than to bring freedom to Halcyon. That you were selfless. But I know the truth now, Graham. I know what happened in Amber Heights. You didn't start this movement because you wanted to save us. You wanted to save yourself.
No. Guilty? I didn't mean for them to die. I'm not a monster. Of course I feel fucking guilty. I've spent years atoning for my sins. I've studied, meditated, taught. I built the iconoclasts so that any man could cast away his past for a fresh start.
That's your answer, Graham? You needed a fresh start? After all those innocent lives? I'm sorry. I believed in you once. I did. But it's over. Stand down.
I won't. What happened back then was a mistake, and the colony has moved on. This is my movement. These are my people. If you want to lead them, you'll have to kill me.
Please. Don't make me do this, Graham.
If this is where my path ends, I accept it. But as long as I draw breath, I will not abandon them.
So be it.
Incoming! That's the last of them! Can we talk?
Well, Captain, here we are. Killed a lot of people in the name of the iconoclasts, and it never feels right. But this time, it's especially wrong. You've got the... Void help me. I'll never remember what that thing is called. The device from the ship. Do you have it? I've thought about it, but I think we're too far gone. Pulling Carlotta's support was crossing a line. You know, Captain, I never thought about that. Maybe he could be taught the eternal truth. Spread the message from within the corporations. All right. If he's willing to talk, I'll give him a chance. Well then. I've got to prepare a few just-in-case measures. But when you're ready, let's meet at the old OSI church outside Stellar Bay.
Нет, здесь нельзя брать. Кто хочет, все читает. Я вообще хочу, знаете, что пройти? Метро Экзодус. Обновленный на максималках в 4К. У меня же новая видюшка. 80 Ti. Сейчас вроде как слухи раскрывают, что 4080 будет мощнее 3090 Ti, там не в 2 раза. А нет, не в 2 раза. Ну, короче, намного. Аж немного так жалею то, что взял, надо было дождаться. А потом на старте продаж по-любому и цена будет конская, и мощность не настолько больше. А, уже взял. А потом через года 3 обновлю. Мне сейчас этой мощности за глаза хватает. Новинки все равно покупать не могу. Искать обходные пути, чтобы купить, я что-то не очень хочу. И в принципе у меня почти топовая видеокарта, притоповая 3080 Ti. И когда выйдет новое поколение, еще неизвестно, предположительно осенью, Неизвестно, какие цены будут. Если на эти видеокарты такие цены, новое поколение вообще будет стоить. Если 3090 Ti стоит под 200 тысяч. Если новое поколение будет мощнее ее, ну, пускай там до 150 упадет цена на 3080, а значит те будут по 200. Куда такие цены для меня? Нет.
Hey, thanks for coming.
I wish I'd had more time to prepare a proper analysis on the costs and benefits of your proposed union, but I suppose we'll have to improvise.
Gotta admit, I really thought I was walking into a trap here. I'm ready.
If it were, I wouldn't be standing here all vulnerable like.
Sanjar, Stellar Bay's got food and walls. And my people need both. If you'll have us, we're willing to share the space.
Do you have any idea what that would cost? Why, drawing up the budget alone is going to take weeks.
Not good enough. I need to move a fair amount of my people into the city. We need shelter, Captain. Suppose some of our healthier folk could offer aid. Some of us need to stay in the city proper, though.
Well, I'll be damned. If you two can work together, maybe there's some hope for this place after all.
Truly, a compromise? I'm not sure I'd ever have heard as much from Graham.
Graham was a murderous fiend, and I'd be shocked if you didn't already know that.
This feels like one of those times when everyone at headquarters but me is laughing at something, but you two aren't laughing.
Amber Heights, you haulhead. 10 years ago, Graham had all those people killed.
What? That's not possible. Even for him, that's going too far. But that means I had no idea, I swear. Look, we were both fed up with corporate leadership, but I never guessed he'd do something like that.
I think he's being truthful, Captain. I feel it in my gut. Kinda nauseous, but ticklish?
You can't take bureaucrats at their word. You back someone into a corner like this, and they'll say anything to get out of it. Okay. You're right. Sorry. It'll take me a while to get over losing Graham.
You know, I felt the same way years ago, when he first left. You know, there was something magnetic about him that let you ignore the things you didn't want to see. But surely you know what that's like.
Yeah, I do. Okay, if you're willing to house and supply some of us, I'll have our more capable soldiers help out.
As am I. Oh, I can feel my blood pressure lowering already.
Thanks for coming out, Sanjar. Guess I'll see you at Stellar Bay.
Gotta be honest, Captain. Never thought I'd see the day. You've done a good thing for Monarch here.
Финя. Ну, Финиас. А, это Финиас, это вот этот, да, который сейчас разговаривали, надо же ему еще отдать. Стены защиты. Да. Не, давай выходи, где выход? Да плевать, с кем идти. Пам-пам-пам-пам-пам-пам. Сегодня надо по-любому хотя бы еще один ролик будет. 5 дней не снимал. 5 дней не играл. Дневник. А чё, я больше не могу отдать ему эти пушки? Они типа совместно теперь, а пушки им теперь не нужны, что ли? Нет, ладно, а PS это этот. Чё он? Ладно, может позже, пока что этого задания нет. Не обдумает, может потом. Ничего, они им не помешают, хоть их больше стало, легче защищаться, но пушки-то лишними не будут. Теперь все в городе живут.
Now arriving at Phineas's top secret orbital lab.
50 минут я играю. Длинная игра. Считай, 16 ролик, а у меня почти все ролики по 1,5 часа. Получается много. Думаю, за часов 30 пройду это, то есть роликов 20 до них. Хотя я не знаю, сколько осталось, еще планет-то много. И я-то выполняю все доп. Задания.
I'd clap you on the shoulder if I weren't behind a wall of bulletproof glass. I don't know how you did it, but Hiram Blythe just sent me everything I needed. According to Hiram's message, Minister Clark has ordered a suspicious amount of dimethyl sulfoxide. It's almost as if he's hoarding the colony's remaining supply. Typical elitist, hoarding supplies during a time of scarcity. Once I have those chemicals, we can revive the Hope's colonists and put some decent people in charge. So, good news. You're going to Byzantium, and stealing those chemicals. Exciting. If I had time and several blackboards, I could explain the details to you, but to put it briefly, dimethyl sulfoxide is the reason you're alive today. The chemical is absolutely essential to reviving the Hope's colonists. I need you to steal as much as you possibly can. The more, the better. If you don't bring me enough chemicals, I might not be able to save the Hope's colonists, and then nothing will stop the board from destroying this colony.
Да, когда бежал, хотел сказать, даже не то, что хотел сказать, а думал об этом. И просто я на многом думаю и не все говорю. Если мы пушки бы заранее отдали бы, вполне возможно бы они бы не договорились, ему бы не нужна была бы помощь, он бы не пошел навстречу, у него была бы защита пушками от, от вот этих иноборцев, короче, от этих чувачков, и он бы мог бы не принять их, и вообще все по-другому получилось. А пушки вполне возможно и дальше он там уже совсем определится, он сказал, что ему там что-то временно что-то нужно, потом может еще отдам их. Ну так, они те-то уже внутри будут жить, договорятся. Мы же секрет рассказали, то что тот Крем что натворил. Ладно, продолжаем. То есть мы уже сейчас пойдем добывать жидкость для растопки наших друзей.
Yes, the details. I'm not about to ask you to rampage through Byzantium trading bullets with the board's agents. We'll have to resort to subterfuge. Carmen Imagawa. She's my contact in Byzantium. Meet her at the docks. She'll have all the necessary intelligence you require. I'm giving you my old nav key to Byzantium. You'll need it to land in the Golden City. Remember, you're looking for dimethyl sulfoxide. Big green bubbling vessel with a warning label. I'll take as much as you can find. You can trust her if that's what you're asking. Imagawa is the finest special agent in Byzantium that money can buy. My money, anyway. Of course, of course. What's on your mind? Absolutely. Let's talk. Oh, goodness, no. I wouldn't survive 10 seconds in the blackness of the aether. Well, no, I
imagine I'd last at least 12 seconds before I'd lose consciousness and die of hypoxia. Life outside work? No, of course not. My life is my work. For that matter, everyone else's lives are also my work. An entire colony's worth of lives are at stake. It's up to me, up to us to set things right. To answer your question, I'd rather stay right here in my lab. There's too much work to be done. The Hope's colonists won't revive themselves, you know. Because we've lost our way, the board has a stranglehold over this colony, and we've all been conditioned into total obedience. The Hope is full of specialists, scientists, engineers, talented individuals like you, people who haven't been corrupted by the board. Unfortunately, the Hope's colonists have been frozen for decades, well past your shelf life, so to speak. No offense. Ah, you begin to perceive the truth. Yes, according to the board and their narrow-minded scientists, you should be a pile of organic sludge right now. 10 years. That's how long the average human can remain in hibernation. You were frozen for decades. In theory, you never should have survived the revival process. But the conventional theories are wrong. You're living proof that it can be done. There's yet hope for the Hope. Get it? We'll do our very best to save them all. I'd best get back to work. I can feel my last dose of caffeinoid fading.
По новой не резкость. Ладно, бежим назад на корабль. Очко способность. Что это? Урон научного оружия. Научным оружием пользоваться. Да, это гипнотический луч. Плазменный молот. Уменьшающий луч. Ну, всем разом не пользуюсь. Можно и ближнего боя попробовать. Пистолет кислотного можно выбрать уменьшающий. Я одним плазменным пользуюсь. Его тоже, наверное, можно улучшить, да? Посмотрим, насколько оно мощное сейчас будет, и что я улучшил. Мне потом очко опыта еще дадут. Способность. И можно еще на 50%. Нет, не тот дневник. Новых заданий не появилось. Но это все там.
The outlaw scientist, Dr. Phineas Wells. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
Я думал, новый разговор. Думал, новый разговор появился. Нет. Терра 2.
We're now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain. You also have a message from one Udom Bedford.
То есть я 8000 зря потратил, я на всякий случай выкупал. Он мне не понравился, я ему не стал возвращать. Да и там же, если вернешь, он вполне возможно, что ученого мне придется заложить. Я это делать не хочу.
Do you mind? I'm meeting someone. Shh. No names, okay? The Phoenix is a wanted man, and the board has eyes everywhere in Byzantium. Yeah, you're looking to make contact with Minister... Magpie, right? I should warn you, it won't be easy. He spends most of his time in his estate, which is heavily guarded. Afraid not. He almost never leaves his home, and his guards never leave him.
Can't say I blame him. It's scary out of doors. I mean, can you even count how many times we've been shot at?
What work specialists, huh? Our mutual friend is really branching out. Whoa, I'm not one of your B&E specialists. I just provide intelligence. Some of the guards hang around Billingsley's House of Inebriation between shifts.
House of Inebriation? Count me the hell in.
Maybe you could do some reconnaissance there. You know, swipe a key while nobody's looking. Just remember, you didn't hear it from me. I've always been fascinated by birds. If you ever research Earth species, there are thousands of them, so colorful and distinct.
Here we got 11 flavors of terror rays and not much else. That kind of variety? I mean, gosh, seems almost impossible.
All of them trying to eat you, I'd wager.
The other thing about birds, though, is their environmental indicators. Exactly. I started thinking about everything we see around Halcyon, and all the things we don't see. For starters, you rarely come across anyone living in Byzantium who wasn't born here, even though we get ships in all the time. Doesn't that seem strange to you? And then there's the way nothing gets fixed. There used to be a suggestion box around here. People would drop ideas in. Nothing ever came of them, of course. I mean, there's a shredder at the bottom of the box, so I don't know what you'd expect to happen. But one day the shredder broke. No one came to fix it, and since it wasn't working, we didn't have anywhere to file our complaints. So you can imagine how messy things got.
I bet your repair folks couldn't find parts. Back in Edgewater, I'd have to take something apart just to put another thing back together.
Might have been the paperwork. Here, you have to append forms to your forms, and law help you if there's a single dash out of place. At first, management put up an out-of-order sign, but that just seemed to worry people, like they were advertising something wasn't working. They eventually took the whole suggestion box sign down so that people didn't have any expectations about it. But they never fixed it, never replaced it. Doesn't that seem odd to you?
If things are broken here, of all places, then I'm starting to think there ain't a hope left in this colony.
Things have kept on running this long, right? Or so I used to think. The whole episode made me wonder, if they can't fix something as simple as a suggestion box, what else aren't they fixing? After a while, I got connected with our mutual friend and started using my position here to feed him information when I could. That's it, really.
Дневник. Красивый наряд. Будет, наверное, дорого стоить, да? Красивый наряд. Мне тебя взял. Что там в космос едем? Ау. Целый город.
Why can't something exciting happen around here for once? Nothing wrong with stability.
Will probably kill you quickly.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Want to be famous?
Не.
That's supposed to be a model of the system? Not super accurate.
Decadence ain't gonna save you when beasts chew through the walls.
Наряд, наверное, очень дорогой будет. Ладно. Как будет, так будет. Что, у меня так мало, я ничего не набирал. Маску эту забрал, наверное, слабенькой. Да, я ничего не набирал. Город большой, целая Византия.
You with the Don't speak. Hold that posture for a moment while I admire you. You have a natural contrapposto, my dear. The way you rest your weight against your hip suggests a certain rugged charisma possessed only by the mighty primal and the well-traveled spacer. Splendid. I love it. Your walk, your posture, the cut of your clothes, you carry yourself with the bearing of a noble, but you dress like a barbarian. How deliciously outre. I'm Celeste Jolicoeur, and you, my dear, are exactly what Byzantium needs. Darling, you and that brutish swagger of yours have been on my mind the moment you stepped into my studio. I'm working on a new line of clothing that will shock this city to its core, and I'd like your help. What do you say, my dear? Care to make history with me? Marvelous! You and I are gonna wake this city up like a cold splash of wine to the face. What I need is a survey of the outside world. What does the common laborer wear? How do the wild-eyed madmen of Monarch dress themselves? I've heard rumors, but I require samples. Also, I expect you to model for me. Oh, you cad! You'll be the talk of Byzantium once I'm done with you. I'll need you to model for me the following: the apparel of an iconoclast, the armor of a marauder, and a full ensemble of spacer gear, helmet included. And when I say spacer gear, I mean an outfit worn by real spacers, none of that garbage spacer's choice pedals. You have the bearing and demeanor of a born model. You're going to absolutely murder this job. I expect you'll cut an exquisite figure. What else do you need to know? I've heard rumors of these iconoclasts, half-mad zealots rampaging across the surface of Monarch. You'll have to find your own way into Monarch. I can't help you. Even if I could, I prefer not to interfere with your creative process. I don't know, I've never seen a marauder. Not in person, anyway. There are always Aetherwade programs, but I want something authentic. Byzantium is long overdue for a change of wardrobe, my dear. Something barbaric, yet elegant. If I were an enterprising spacer in need of a wardrobe, I'd probably head to the Groundbreaker. Fabulous! I can't wait to see what you dredge up. If I were an enterprising space... For you? Anything. Outside Byzantium? Of course not. There's nothing for me outside Byzantium. Byzantium has lost its élan vital. Everything about this city is so dreadfully stale. I want to make people uncomfortable the way you do. You're an outsider. You clearly don't belong in Byzantium, and yet you strut about, doing as you please. I'm not some common buttonmonger, darling. I'm an artist. It's my job to make you uncomfortable. You're very welcome.
You don't gotta be so forward about my reasons, Captain.
Let me get a good look at you. Turn around, please, darling. My word. Such muscular shoulders. You're a vision, dear.
I am no such thing, ma'am.
Nonsense. You're absolutely lovely. Chin up now. I have just the thing for you. Let me do a back-of-the-envelope calculation. Materials, labor, licensing and copyright. There. Darling, do I look like an amateur? I read her measurements by eye. And don't you ask, because they're no one's business but her own. Love? That's the ultimate luxury, darling. Love. Oh, gracious me.
I don't get why that's funny, ma'am.
Oh, my cherub. Who woos for love anymore? That's so... precious. All right, Captain. Here is the absolute best I can do for you. There are some things I simply cannot skimp on, darling. Such a lovely young lady deserves the best. Now stand back. Back! I'll enter the settings and get these machines spinning. You'll be broke to bespoke in merely an hour. And there we are, my darling girl. I wish you a splendiferous evening. And if you don't mind my asking, have you any interest in modeling?
What? Oh, no, ma'am. All them eyes staring at me? I couldn't. No way, no how. I get scared just thinking on it.
I wish you weren't so shy, my Violet. You truly are beautiful. I hope your date sees that as clearly as I.
Can we talk?
Ой, я нажал уже купить.
I can't wait to see those outfits. What can I do for you, darling?
И не то, что не нужно, да? Броня, очочки. Больше ничего нет. Продать. Давать мне нечего, мне наоборот теперь надо мародера собрать. Космика и еще кого-то. А, и наковерца. Ладно, потом найдем.
Oh, can you believe this outfit? It's so handsome, I'm almost afraid to touch it. Well, I guess that's everything then. After all this time, I just have to actually do it now. You know, there's a part Junlei's been looking for to fix up the air cyclers. They only carried them on big colony ships, like the Hope. I know. For a while, it felt like everything I did was a little bit of help. And it meant I didn't have to ask her to be mine. Not yet. Not for real. Next time we dock with Groundbreaker, I'm doing it. I'll send June a message and ask her over. Oh, this is real scary, Captain. I'm grateful for all you done.
Я думал, дорого будет стоить. Не такой уж дорогой. Костюм всего 3000. Даже первый раз за 6000. Не так уж много просили. Задание. Не, сейчас заканчиваем. Короче, ролик сделаю, чтобы к завтрашнему дню обработался. На завтра ролик. Это на первом. Нужно понять, что носит он за пределами Византии. Простающий комплекты. Как говорится. Дом Евы. Задание в Праг. Что мне нужно сделать? Найди и убей. Не, давайте закончим. Блин, я ни разу не сохранился. Не забывать сохраняться. Можно и погибнуть, и потом долго сохранения не было. Если долго не было, потом перепроходить придется на большой город. Ладно, давайте закончим, продолжим скоро. Сегодня по-любому еще один запишу в любом случае. Сейчас все. Все это интересно очень. То есть мне нравится экран. Как много раз говорил, не хватает озвучки. Была бы озвучка, вообще было бы шикарно.
If they'd sent money to Monarch instead of building even one of those homes, I bet we could have rebuilt Stellar Bay. The whole damn thing.
Это мои, я думал, охрана. Ладно, давайте здесь пересохранимся. По-новому потом бежать. Продолжим скоро. Пока что все. Всем спасибо за просмотр. И все красивые. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Скоро увидимся. Скоро продолжим. Пока-пока.